What's going on, my trainer club? Today we're going to check out the AR scanning. How are you guys liking it in Pokemon Go? Are you using the feature and everything like that? Because I have some feedback for you guys that may be alarming. So with all that said, let's jump right in. Welcome back, everybody. Let me know in the comments below, how do you guys feel about the AR scanning and powered up Pokestops in Pokemon Go? Are you guys using the feature? Do you find it effective? Or do you just kind of ignore it and keep going on what you're doing? So I want to give a couple things that are going on with this. As you did see the thumbnail, there looks to be, as I have talked about in the past, a reason behind doing this. I think it's a multifaceted reason. And we're going to check out all those reasons today in this video to make sure that we are abreast of the topics that are going on in Pokemon Go so that you know exactly maybe what be going on behind the scenes. And this is not anything that I have confirmed from anybody. This is just an observation that I'm making as far as feedbacks that I'm seeing and things like that. So let's talk about the powered up Pokestops. What happens to those Pokestops? If you want to see how to power up a Pokestop, you can check it out up here. Basically what you're doing is you are confirming to Pokemon Go's AI system that the Pokestop that is supposed to be there in that location is there, or if you are scanning that place and it doesn't match where that Pokestop is supposed to be, they will then either remove that Pokestop or put it back in its current location. So sometimes there are areas that have a lot of Pokestops, such as the picture over here. It had a lot of Pokestops. It was a great grind location. It was actually a location that I was really excited about visiting when I was overseas. However, I didn't get the chance to go to that. But now that we have had the AR scanning come about, we now have the next picture of what this place looks like in Pokemon Go. So I did see some arguments that, hey, you know, maybe these Pokestops have been added in there artificially and they're not meant to be there, and by using all the AR scanning, it then puts them into wherever they're meant to be. I'm not really sure exactly how that system works. And then the argument went further and said that Pokemon Go is supposed to be get out and explore, and this location doesn't really get me to explore. Well, here's my argument for that. I live in California. I had a very deep desire to go to this location when I was traveling, and it is actually these locations that excite me the most about Pokemon Go. I don't think there's anything better than an amazing grind spot that is truly lit up like that. I don't want to just sit in that spot. I want to travel the globe to go to those unique locations that are going to yield me some type of really cool experience, not only for me, but for my viewers' sake. So I would argue that having those places in Pokemon Go that are unique and rare and deserve to be in those really cool locations are something that drives me to travel more to those specific locations, because without those Pokestops there, if I'm looking at this second picture, I'm not going to that place if I'm talking about Pokemon Go. Maybe it's a cool monument or a cool mall or whatever it is, which is cool, but I can probably go to different locations in other places and see those places. So if it's not something like the Eiffel Tower, which I've been to the Eiffel Tower and it's nowhere near as lit as this place for Pokemon Go. Yes, I want to go there for this, but for Pokemon Go specific things, and for something that's going to drive me to a specific location for Pokemon Go, it's got to be like that. Something like Navy Pier in Chicago doesn't have stops that look like this, but the spawns are insane, and it's something that I would suggest that all you guys do check out and experience at some point. So that leads me to start talking about what is actually happening behind the scenes, do I think is going on for these AR stops in Pokemon Go as far as power-up stops. So number one, like I talked about, it's confirming the locations of these stops. Are the stops meant to be where they are in the game? I have different opinions as far as that goes. I mean, you know, I get the S2 cells. I get all the different cell mechanisms and how they want to only have a certain amount of stops and POIs in each place, which is totally cool. But at the same time, having all those unique locations like I talked about are so fun. Like, it's fun to have those locations. It's a driver for me to check out those locations. I think it inspires people to move more with those locations. So I think that trying to control the way that the world is set up, it just naturally happens that maybe if I'm at Disneyland, there's 10 monuments in a matter of 50 feet that should all deserve Pokestops. I don't think they should be limited. Furthermore, I think Pokemon Go should do a better job at recognizing those landmarks and allowing them to have multiple POIs in their S2 cells. And if you guys don't quite understand what I'm talking about S2 cells, imagine taking a checkerboard and overlaying it on a map of the globe, and each checkerboard location has a cell in it, and the different types of cells can be expanded to different distances. So in the city, you can have a much more condensed place, which is why cities have more Pokestops. But in more rural areas, the S2 cells are much bigger, and that's why you see a whole lot less Pokestops. It has a lot to do with the amount of people that live in areas and amount of things and POIs that are in those areas. So I want to make sure that you guys are aware of that. So I think that if Pokemon Go did recognize these locations, did allow them to have more Pokestops, like, okay, well, if these places have X amount of people that come to it per year, or they are landmark locations, they deserve to have 2 to 3 to 4 the amount of Pokestops, and then you wouldn't have to have all this stuff going on as far as trying to confirm if this location is good, does it actually be there, should it be there, should it not be there, and if it's not there, then you end up having a location like this that's I don't want to go to this place anymore. I have no desire from a Pokemon Go standpoint to ever go to this place. But before, I was like, I don't care what that place is. I am going to that place because it's going to make a sick and cool video, right? I think you guys can maybe see where I'm resonating on this and see that I think that Pokemon Go does a great job at getting us to explore, but knowing what drives the players is much more important than the vision of a company. We've already seen this happen a couple times as far as Pokemon Go does, as far as making decisions, as far as the 80 meters versus the 40 meters, where we were having a great time with the 80 meters and they're like, no, it doesn't fit our vision. We're gonna have 40 meters. And it was like, okay, content creators, let's all rally together and say, hey man, this is not how it works. This is not what makes your game successful. We need 80 meters. And then they were like, okay, we need 80 meters. This is the same experience as far as POKÉSTOP location around the globe, that having these unique places drives players to travel to these locations and get to experience this type of Pokemon Go gameplay where it's like, hey, if I want to meet some hardcore Pokemon Go players, I can go to Kinshisho Station in Tokyo and I can play a monumentally fun day, right? If you want to see that video, you can check it out up here. So having those locations that drive players to get there are really fun. And then that leads us to the further thing is like, do you enjoy powering up Pokestops in Pokemon Go? Is it something that you enjoy to do? Because essentially what's happening, if we're talking about the transaction, it's saying, hey, Billy, why don't you come to my POI location? Why don't you complete a task for me? And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reward you more things in your game for completing that thing. It's essentially like a transaction. It's essentially like, hey, I'm gonna pay you with a commodity of more items in Pokemon Go to complete this task for me. So essentially what you're doing is you are working for this company, if you wanna say it like that, to do something to get something in return, right? There's a transaction going on. And so I think that, you know, AR technology is really cool, right? Augmented reality. And I think contributing to that is really cool. But if there's negative mechanics going on as far as making Pokemon Go a little bit less fun, a little bit less enjoyable. Maybe it's modifying these grind locations that have become really monumental throughout the world and things that I've really looked forward to going to, and then they're removing these locations. I think that it kind of like takes away the specialness of some of these locations. Maybe you guys have different comments and opinions and you can drop them in the comments below, but I think that this is one of those things where it's like Pokemon Go works really well for locations like this. Like, what makes GoFest really exciting? What makes GoFest really exciting is the spawns are crazy, the lures are crazy, and there's a ton of stops in a small area. What does that say? There's people from all around the globe that are traveling, not only to do all that stuff, but they're also traveling for the unique Pokemon there. They're traveling for the experience, the trainers, maybe for their content creators. And so having places around the globe that mimic the GoFest experience, guess what happens? Creates more of an experience for those players and drives them to experience new places in the world. So if Pokemon Go could, from Niantic's standpoint, realize that these things are very important to the gameplay of Pokemon Go and that these things drive trainers to actually travel and experience locations around the globe more, then I think we would all have a much richer experience in Pokemon Go playing. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think. I think that this kind of had to be addressed. I've talked about it before in videos, but I wanted to make sure that you guys know exactly what you may be doing when you are doing these power-up Pokestops in Pokemon Go. So thank you guys for being here as always. To all my likers, commenters, subscribers, Patreon members, everybody who takes their support, subscription, and participation to the next level. I'm gonna see you guys out on the next video. Peace. I want to take this time to thank everybody who supports me in every facet. It means the world to me, and an extra special thank you to all my Patreons. I greatly appreciate the extra support to continue to allow me to pursue Pokemon Go full time, allowing me to create my daily video uploads in the most timely fashion for everyone's benefit. Plus, I get the amazing experience of sharing my creative processes behind the scenes and rating all around the globe with select upper tiers. Thank you everybody for being a part of the Trainer Club. You all mean the absolute world to me, and I will see you guys out on the next video.